Hey community, it's George here again for episode number 12 of our Hey Community episodes. Look, we are loving this journey with you guys, and right now I want to answer a question by a guy named Paul in Brisbane City. And he asked a really pertinent question that most of us wouldn't even think about twice because we do this so often. We're called into these things, or we call these things into being, and we don't even know how to do them properly. And I want to talk about that in a minute. But before I do, let me just say, make sure if you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel or like our Facebook page or press share, and make sure you share this content with people who really need to know what we're sharing with you today. The whole objective of these episodes are to help you out there to do body corporate and to be a lot owner at the best that you can be. And so we want to help the industry the best way we can. Here's Paul's question that he's asking us. Listen to this. How can I, as a manager, make our meetings better because our current meetings drag on for ages and we don't seem to be achieving too much? Paul, what a pertinent question that is. Most of us right now listening to me would know your pain. We feel your pain. Here are the 4 things that you can do to make your meetings so much better. Number 1, set a clear and precise agenda, which means make sure it's in writing, email it to everyone, make sure everyone's got it, so they've got enough time to read through the content and know exactly what they need to bring to the meeting. Creative solutions, ideas, proposals, all of that can be done prior to the meeting and they come ready to go. Trust me, you'll get much better result just by having an agenda. But let me also say this. If you text someone in your organization or you email and say, hey, let's have a coffee tomorrow at 10, please let them know as courtesy what you're meeting about. The last thing you need is for someone to come apprehensive and already blocked because they don't know what they're coming for. Why am I being called? Am I in trouble? Have I done something wrong? Negate all of that by just using the common courtesy of giving them a so-called agenda as well and saying, hey, I'd love to meet with you tomorrow at 10 about the project coming up. They know exactly what they need to do. So number 2, and this is one that most people forget about, set a proper time for the meeting. What I mean by that is, you don't need to meet for 2 hours, for goodness sake. You can do an excellent meeting in 25 to 30 minutes. And if it's a little bit more content involved, maybe 40 to 45 minutes, but it should go no longer than that. If it does, there needs to be a good break in the middle or reconvene the next day. Because the longer you go for, the more babbling that happens and the worse the ideas become because people become fatigued. What I would suggest you do, something that Google and GE do very well, is they get a big countdown clock, they put it on the table, they set 25 or 30 minutes on it, and they watch it count down. And so therefore everyone knows that they can't speak for too long because the clock's counting down. Sharp, short, great responses happen when you put a time frame. Number 3, people matter. You have to realize that people matter, which means that when you set the clear agenda, when you give someone the time frame, they know exactly what they're going to be coming to do. But what that means is the captain of the ship, the person chairing that meeting, needs to know that people matters, and therefore will do certain things like this. They'll keep to time. They'll make sure that the agenda moves forward or halts when it needs to. They'll know how to set or refer a subgroup from that team to go and deal with solutions that may be too difficult to deal with in that meeting. So this subgroup goes out and deals with it later and comes back to the next meeting with some solutions. They motivate the team, and more importantly, or most importantly, they know when and how to celebrate the wins with that team in that meeting. They take time out to celebrate the wins. Very important. So people do matter. Set a person who chairs the meeting. Even though you may be the boss of that department, maybe you don't have to chair the meeting. Just think about that. Number 4, plan the work, work the plan. Plan the work the plan. What that means is you have a good set of minutes. Someone writes down what was decided, by when it needs to happen, and by whom. You email that out to everyone and they can tell you, they know exactly who's doing what, by when, and how, and everyone knows you're doing, I'm doing, by Friday, done and dusted. No one has to guess, when am I meant to do this? Am I doing this part? Are they doing that part? None of that achieves a great result. So ensure that you have a great set of minutes, that it emailed straight away out to the people that were attended the meeting and they know who, when, and what they need to do. Very important. Well, that's all from me today in regards to meetings that matter. Let me say this to you, make sure that you know that meetings are vital for the lubrication and the moving of your organization. Decisions are made, culture is set, everything is done within those meetings. Take them seriously and make sure that they actually matter. Have a great day. See you next time.